Oh, alright. Oh, what's good, fam? Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow is lit. This game is 16 years old. Yeah, I know. This game is literally old enough to drive in the state that is United States of America. I know. It's insane. So if you know the Splinter Cell series well, you're probably wondering why I'm reviewing this game. But don't worry, I'm still going to talk about the first game, and I'm going to rope it into this, because the first game is just, it's the first game. It's the best game, in my humble opinion, in the series. At least the ones that I played. So yeah, I'm still going to talk about it, alright? So make sure you go grab your Go-Gurt, grab your Capri Sun. I'm still going to be here. I'm not going anywhere, alright? Just keep the tab open. We're going to be good, okay? Sit back, relax. I'm going to entertain you for the next 15 minutes. For those that actually don't know, Splinter Cell is a stealth action video game series that was developed in the early 2000s by a studio named Ubisoft. The Splinter Cell series actually took a lot of inspiration from games like Thief and the Metal Gear series and combined it with the stories written by Tom Clancy to make a series that was frankly ahead of its time. So I looked into that last point while I was editing this video, and it actually turns out that Tom Clancy had little to no affiliation with the Splinter Cell series. The reason Splinter Cell was made in the first place was that Ubisoft took their Montreal studio and they wanted to see what their full potential could be in developing a game. So yeah, I f***ed that one up. Anyways, back to the video. As of this video, there are currently 6 main entries in the series. There's 9 entries if you include all the handheld games that came with it, and then there's 12 if you include the different versions of the main games that were thrown in. This series is a mess. The first game in the series actually had 2 different versions. It had a version for the Xbox and PC, developed by Ubisoft Montreal, and a version for the PS2 and GameCube, developed by Ubisoft Shanghai. Okay, look, I biffed something again. This game has a 3rd version for the Game Boy, and I don't want to re-record it, okay? It took me so long. The second game in the series, Pandora Tomorrow, God bless, had 2 different versions as well. It had a version for the Xbox and PC, and a version for the GameCube and PS2, similar to the first game. However, the second game was actually fully developed by Ubisoft Shanghai. And although it was the first time they took over a project, they actually pretty much took everything that the first game did and just, well, made it better. The movement animations were actually made a little more realistic. The lighting engine improved for more accurate lighting. Sam did some Pilates between the first game and this one and learned a couple extra moves. The pistol actually had a red dot for better accuracy. There's a few more differences that actually changed from the first game that bug me to this day. One of them, and the most important in my opinion, being the voice actors. The first game had some amazing voice actors. You had Michael Ironside playing Sam Fisher, the classic. You had Lambert, played by Don Jordan. You had Claudia Bezzo playing Grimm's daughter. These are, without a doubt, the most iconic characters in the series. Voice acting in the first game was absolutely phenomenal, and these actors delivered amazing performances for a game that was made in 2002. Then Pandora Tomorrow comes in, and they're all like, "Hey yo, dog, we're finna give you like the All-State guy to play Lambert, and we're gonna give you some random chick who's only done like maybe one other game before this to play Grimm's daughter, because we just can't really find anyone else." I remember the 12-year-old version of me when I was trying to play this game back in like 2010 was actually triggered when I did not hear the actual voice actors from the first game. Michael Ironside came back to reclaim his role as Sam, and thank God he did, because boy, I probably would not have played this game if he was not Sam Fisher. Pandora's Bracelet actually takes place in-game in 2006. Sam Fisher is tasked with Third Echelon, a top-secret NSA initiative to track down the main antagonist of the game, that is Sahadi Sedona, aka leader of the Duradandoa, aka clearly inspired by Che Guevara, aka Lord Farquaad looking ass. Sedona is a charismatic ex-CIA agent that was actually trained to help fight communism in the East Timor region. He grew resentment for the US, and now he is in control of a whole slew of smallpox bombs that are planted all around US soil. Every 24 hours, Lord Farquaad looking ass makes a phone call to all the bomb carriers on the Sony Ericsson slider, stating simply Pandora Tomorrow. That's it. Just 2 words. Pandora Tomorrow. If he misses any of the phone calls, the carriers are instructed to actually release the smallpox bombs, causing an uncontainable epidemic across the United States. Basically, what I'm saying is Lord Farquaad's a genius. That's all you really need to know about the plot. That's pretty much it. If one thing is for sure, this game actually has some pretty sick missions. One mission, you're actually in cryogenics labs in France searching for ND-133 containers, aka the smallpox bombs. There's another mission where you're actually on a train heading to another part of France and you almost get run over a couple times. Another mission, you're crawling through ganja plants in the Indonesian jungles. That's a weed leaf, right? The missions in this game are extremely diverse and unlike anything we had ever seen in the first game. There's even a mission in Jerusalem that contains player choice of whether or not you want to assassinate this person, and you only have about 10 seconds to decide. Granted, it doesn't change the ending, or honestly, really not much of the story at all, But for its time, I mean, in 2004, there wasn't many games that gave you options throughout the story. But there's one part of the game I really and particularly want to talk about. It's actually the last couple of missions of the game, so if you wanted to play this game, I mean, dude, you had like 16 years, I mean, but if you just want to skip this part, it's fine, I understand.
No hard feelings.
So the ending of this game kind of bugged me. I'm not saying it was completely bad, but you might want to grab another Capri Sun, because this is going to be a minute. So there's another antagonist of the game that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is Norman Soth. You're first introduced to Soth on the train mission where you're heading to another part of France, and he mentions throughout the mission that he is a big undercover right now for the CIA. There turns out to be a big debate, as you discover later on. He's trying to get a hold of one of the smallpox bombs that Sedona has for his own personal reasons. You capture the main antagonist, Sedona, in the second to last mission, and I guess they just miraculously convince him to just disarm all the rest of the bombs and call off the whole thing, because you just don't see or hear anything else about the bombs in the story. It's all just assumed. Just tier 1 storytelling right there. The last mission actually takes Sam to the LAX airport, where you actually discover that Soth did in fact get a hold of one of these last smallpox bombs, and his plan and his personal reason was to use it at LAX so that people would get on planes, go around the world, and spread the virus all over the world. These bastards are smart. So at the very end of the game, you actually get a hold of the last smallpox bomb that Soth originally had, but you're told by Lambert that there's just absolutely nothing they can do, and there's no time to get the smallpox bomb out of the LA County and into the ocean or some ish where it'll just blow up and not affect anybody. But then Sam pulls out a 2,000 IQ play and gets the bomb squad to come in with a bomb cage and blow up the smallpox bomb so it doesn't spread everywhere. Somehow I feel like a tiny-ass bomb cage isn't going to stop smallpox from spreading all over the airport still, so I don't get that part at all. But hey, I mean, Sam saves the day, so good on you, buddy. I did actually run into a couple bugs in this mission, which were pretty interesting. There's one part of the LAX mission where you actually have to hide behind suitcases to prevent workers from detecting you. In theory, this part is pretty creative and cool, and unlike anything we had ever seen before. It's certainly one of the more unique ideas that this game presents, and well, it had a bit of an issue in my playthrough. Suitcases were infused with some threading that could quantum mechanically teleport through walls and defy the law of physics by going in a circle through the wall and not continuing where the conveyor belt's trying to send it, except the game was made in 2006 and we weren't scientifically there yet, and this was actually a serious bug that almost prevented me from beating the game. Thankfully though, not all the suitcases were bugged. I was able to quickly dash behind one and avoid the guards entirely. But man, was this just a weird one. It was pretty funny to me though, I must be honest. I stood there for probably like 10 minutes just staring at him because it's weird. There was another part of the mission that I put myself in quite the predicament. I didn't mean to do it, but hey, you know, it happens. This game actually, on the PC version anyway, allows quick saving. To be honest though, I mean, I really didn't use quick saving much. I mean, cause like, you know, I don't really feel like I need it. I feel like it kind of takes away from the experience, and I didn't feel like using it much because, I mean, frankly, I'm actually kind of good at the game anyway, so I didn't really need it, but like, you know, it's there just in case, you know, for players that do need it, you know? However, in the LAX mission, there was a time where, you know, I kind of needed one, but kind of didn't. I ended up quick saving. I fat-fingered the F5 key, which is the quick save key, by the way. I fat-fingered that key. I meant to hit the F8 key, and that was the key I missed, and hit the F5 key, because the quick load is on F8, and the quick save is on F5, and how I fat-fingered the F5 key when I meant to hit the F8 key, don't ask, okay? It was a hard time for me. But nevertheless, it happened. It wasn't in the most ideal spot, as you can see. In fact, it was almost impossible to get out of. I mean, there was 2 guys in the room. I just so happened to quick save right in front of one guard, and then another guard was across the room, actually running to set off an alarm. So there wasn't really much I could do. But you know, being the insane 200 IQ gamer that I am, decided that there was one way out of this. I realized that if I was fast enough, I could knock out the guy in front of me, I could whip out the AR, go to the other guy that was about to set off the alarm, and then I could just like knock him out, not like shoot him, but like there's airfoil. I knocked him out. So the guy I knocked out is laying down in front of me. The guy I knocked out behind me actually didn't set off the alarm, so I was able to continue the mission. And I'm so good. This definitely did not take me 13 tries. I mean, I did it very quickly, I figured it out quickly, and just, your boy's insane. Even though I did encounter a few bugs, I will say this game is top-notch. When I was playing through it again for this review, I was genuinely impressed. The graphics hold up pretty well to this day. Granted, I was playing on a 1080p widescreen PC mod, but it's still impressive. One thing about this game that will never impress me, though, is those cutscenes. And, oh god. I'm not seeing it right now, clearly, because it's a green screen, but I'm just imagining it in my head and just cringing. It's kind of hard to believe these cutscenes were even good in 2004. It's like 3D claymation, but somehow weirder. The dialogue in this game, too, is at times on the same level as these cutscenes. It's just kind of stiff and clunky, and there's long pauses in between talking that shouldn't be there.
What? Something under the floor? It's probably rats. What the hell is wrong with that dog? Hush! That's enough! Somebody needs to either train this mutt or cut its vocal cords. Listen, if you bark all the time, we won't know when there's a real danger. Quiet! I said quiet now!
I can't stand this show anymore.
Quiet! I said quiet now!
I'm going to kill this dog.
The enemy AI, for the most part, emphasis on the most, is actually pretty good. I would argue that enemy AI is pretty spotty even in most modern day games, so the AI from Pandora Tomorrow actually kind of makes me question why some of the AI nowadays is so bad. Hopefully I don't come off as going too hard on this game, because, I mean, although there were some bugs, I mean, the game really only hard crashed on me twice, which is very, very impressive for a 2004 game. I gotta stop saying 2004. It's hurting me. But if I had to give Splinter Cell Pandora's Bracelet a rating, I would probably give it a solid 7 triangular night vision goggles out of 10. Because honestly, it was a fun experience that I would recommend you go try if you have not already. If you're like me though, I will say the story will probably leave some stuff to be desired for you. Just forewarning. Before I go, I just want to say I did play the first mission of Chaos Theory, the third entry in the Splinter Cell series, and I must say, I went in just to kind of get a feel for the game, and I got completely groped. The cutscenes in this game look weird, if not weirder than Pandora Tomorrow, and when you actually grab to interrogate people, just look. Why? Just why? It's fucking nightmare fuel. And everybody makes the same face. Literally everybody. Also, not to mention that Sam suffers from resting face in this game. Just look at him the whole time. That's your face. He does have some pretty cool menacing faces, though, whenever he's looking at his enemies while he interrogates them, so that's pretty cool. I guess this sort of facial detail was pretty impressive at the time, and all I have to say is, thank God facial detail has improved since 2005. I mean, this is just, it's crazy. I have no doubt, though, that Chaos Theory is a good game. I mean, just look at Sam. He can walk backwards. I mean, do I need any more? He also shanks people, which is pretty cool, because that's right, ladies and gentlemen, Chaos Theory is the first Splinter Cell entry that is rated M for mature. Let's go! If you want a video on Chaos Theory, just let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, you know what to click. Make sure you hit that sub button and you ting the little bell. I'm going to be making videos hopefully throughout this year. There's a lot of games that are on the calendar that I really want to talk about, and I would love to share my thoughts with you guys. So make sure you click it, okay? I'll see you in the next one, everybody, and remember, never stop. This turns out to be a big debate, as you discover later on in the story.